What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Cobra Tech Repair. We get everything tech news, gaming, and nerd related. And I got a review for you today, but it's something a little different. It is for a personal vaporizer. This is the Itaste MVP version 2. And if you don't know what a personal vaporizer is, it pretty much atomizes nicotine and vapor to create a smoke-like effect, which I'll show you now. See that? That's just water vapor. That's all it is, and nicotine. Now, I started smoking at age 14, and I am 22 now, so about 8 years, if I got my math right. And I went between smoking and chewing, but I've been using vaporizers for about 6 months now and haven't touched a single cigarette or chewing tobacco. Get the Itaste MVP. It'll come in a package that looks something like this. You open it up, you have a instruction booklet that says Itaste MVP 2, battery, and 1 tank. And also in the package is a separate tank that you can use, and a beauty ring. I'll explain all that in just a moment. Now, going over what is inside these tanks itself. Well, you have your end here where the atomizer is. You have your tip where you suck in, and you have the middle part here. Now, to fill these, you take off the top, just like that, and you just fill in this little tube here. Now, when you take this apart, what actually brings the nicotine to the atomizer is a set of wicks. As you can see, there are 4 wicks with a little rubber piece on top. That's what actually soaks in the e-juice and brings it to the atomizer. Now, onto the actual system itself. I will take off the tank I am using. You can see here, this has threading for the Ego tanks or regular tanks. It has your power button here on front that glows green. If it's good, it glows yellow if it's about in the medium power range, and it glows red if it's about to die. And it also has on the side here a LED display. You can see there is nothing connected, and it shows what my voltage is set to. Now, if you're pushing both the buttons at the same time, you get your ohm reading and your current voltage. You press the bottom one, it shows you your current puff counter, which is how many puffs you've taken since the last charge. If you hold it down, you can adjust your voltage. I like mine around 4.1, but you can go anywhere from 3.3 up to 5.0. Now, you can only do this using the bottom button. You cannot it only round robins. You can't go up and down. Now, let's get back to 4.1 here. Now, you can also change it by your wattage. Now, I don't use this myself, but you can go from 6 watts all the way up to 11 watts. Now, these cancel each other out, so you can only use the voltage or the wattage. You cannot use both. Now, what this means for whenever you're using it is, since I have my voltage set at 4.1, the higher the voltage, the hotter the throat hit's going to be, and the more vapor you'll get. Now, if you get too much wattage, you'll get a burnt taste. You don't want that. You want to find the perfect voltage. The perfect voltage for me on this 2.1 ohm coil, which, as you can see, if I push in both the buttons, it says 2.0 ohms, but it's 2.1 ohm coil at 4.1 volts. I get the perfect amount of heat, the perfect amount of vapor, and the perfect taste for me. Now, this varies person to person. You could have it all the way down at 3.3 volts, or you could have it all the way up to 5 volts if you want it, but you can burn your vapor. Now, like I was talking about earlier with the beauty ring, you can install that if you wish for these small ones, but it is not required. It installs just right here onto the base and screws in. Just like so, and then your top screws on to the beauty ring. Now, this beauty ring does have 2 small holes in the side, so you still get air. It works exactly the same. It's pretty much aesthetic if you have the small tanks, but if you have the bigger modified tanks, you will need the beater ring on there to make it work. A charger, and I'll explain this in just a second what all the different ports are for. If you see here on the bottom of the mount, there is a big USB port. It's very hard to see because of the coloring, but there is a switch on the bottom. You can see that says output right there. There's a switch that says on and off. Now what you can do with this, instead of this just being your vaporizer, you could use this to charge external devices. All you have to do is plug in the USB end to your vaporizer, turn on the output, and then just plug in your phone. Now my phone has a cover on it, so I can't do that, but you can use this as a phone charger as well as a vaporizer, so I really like that. All in all, it's a very good system. It's a very cheap system. You can pick it up for about 60 bucks, and like I said, it comes with your battery, 2 tanks, the beater ring, your charger, and most times if you pick it up at a shop, you get a free bottle of fluid as well. I myself, right now, I am using just regular tobacco fluid. I will go over different fluid companies in a later video. This is pretty much just a starter video. Now, I recommend this greatly over the Haas brand, which I'll do a later review on. This you can buy at most gas stations, even Walmart. It's like 30 bucks. See that? I didn't even get anything out of that. Now, look at the difference. You see which one would be more fulfilling to a smoker. So, overall, I really like the design. It is a little bit on the heavy side. This will be for more of a home vaporizer. You can get ones that look more like flashlights instead of a brick, but this battery can last probably 2 or 3 full days of vaping before going dead. And if you charged it and tried to charge one of your cell phones with it, you could probably go from 20% to 80% on your phone and still have a full day's worth of vaping off of this. Now, if you're new to vaporizers, you can get different nicotine levels from 0% up to 56%, I believe, which is not recommended. I use 2.4 grams of nicotine per milliliter, and that fulfills my needs. Now, there are also different kinds of liquids. I will get to that in a later video, but this is just for this. This review is just for the Itaste MVP from Innokin itself, and I give it very, very high marks. Like I said, it's been 6 months, and I have not touched any tobacco since I went to a vaporizer. And this is a lot better for $60 than paying the $30 for the Walmart or gas station brands, which will turn you off completely from vaporizers. I recommend going through the different voltage settings if you first get one, starting out at 3.3 and working up from there until you find the voltage that suits you best, because if you get too high of a voltage, like I said, you will get some burnt tasting, or you might even burn the wicks, so you want to keep an eye out on that. Alright guys, this has been Tanklebear, Colbert Tech Repair with the Innokin Itaste MVP 2.0 personal vaporizer review. If you liked, give it a like. If you didn't, feel free to give it a dislike. If you have any questions or comments about vaporizers, what it's like to get into it, what the costs are involved, how it's like, let me know down in the comments section right down below. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Tanklebear92, and you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Colbert Tech Repair. See you guys next time. Operating a PC multi-display configuration. Now, with iFinity, you can drive up to 6 displays with a combined resolution